Welcome back to the show, Ronald LaPread. You were the bassist for the Commodores through the group's glory days, retiring in 1986, your last album with them being Night Shift. You moved to New Zealand at that time. Well, you've had a fantastic career generally with the Commodores. I urge people to go off and look at our previous chat with you. There will be a link in the description of this video. People can go off and see that. It's fantastic to have you back with us, Ronald. Thank you so much for joining us again, and please do tell us more.
It's great to be here. Skyler and I have been like brothers for the last, I won't say how many years, 50 years. I won't say how many years. Shucks, we used to have such a ball making music until, we can't get over it. It's just still in our blood, huh?
Oh, yeah. Always, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
When we did this show first time, you had just started, and it was amazing that you were out on that, the Music for Global Changes. That is nice. That is very nice. And you pointed out to me that there may be 3 billion love songs, but
yeah,
somebody needs to talk about what's happening in the society. That's
right now. Right.
Yeah,
we need that right now.
Yeah. That's just terrible. It is. The world is in such a fickle place now.
Yeah.
Until somebody needs to talk about it. Somebody needs to sing about it. Someone needs to be made aware that we are all our brother's keepers. And
how about that? Can you imagine Martin Luther King with the internet?
Ooh, wow.
Yeah.
That brother could speak, man. He could really speak. And if he could have reached out and got the people like you can get now, it would have been a different world. It would have been a different world.
Yeah, man. But you see the progress though, because we got our first Black female president. When he was talking about it in '68, we're gonna get to the mountaintop.
But yes, indeed.
You keep fighting, you're gonna get there. Because see, you my inspiration. I got to.
You're not very much inspired then, are you?
Oh, come on.
You inspired me to go in this direction of social conscious music when we wrote Keep the Music Playing, because it wasn't just to write a song. It was for a purpose.
Yeah, it was. You travel around and you see a lot of kids. Kids who are just having fun, and they don't realize what they don't have,
Right.
and they don't realize it. And if you bring it to the attention of the public, then maybe someone will have a good heart and try and help a kid, try and help a child.
I love that. And we got to pass it on. Like I said, when I go out and teach young people, I want you to go teach what I taught you to somebody younger than you.
Yep, pass it on. There you go. But a lot of kids don't talk to older people now. They're so busy texting and TikToking and all of that they don't really talk and say what's on their mind and what's in their hearts. And if they just say it, they'll understand that the older people, they didn't just appear. We started as children and we grew and we learned and we saw, and wisdom come with experience.
That's right. And you got to pass it on. The internet's only been here since 1996. So the kids after 1996, they can't even imagine human beings playing music.
They don't know. Yeah. They don't know what it's like to play a guitar. That's right.
You know what I mean? I was doing a session with this little girl, and I was producing I said, "Oh, this part right here, we need to put a saxophone on it." And I told her I can get my friend to play saxophone over it. She go, "Wait a minute, Skyler, wait a minute." And she brought me over to the keyboard, and it said sax.
Yeah.
Can we save that money? Cold-blooded, man.
A lot of people say these young kids, they don't know anything about music, but I think that's desperately wrong. They know about music, but they don't know how to make it with the instrument. But they can hear the sounds and they can put it together. They can put it together and they can make it very interesting. And a lot of these younger kids, man, they are so clever. They are so clever to be able to do a session, and it is so repetitive that if you were playing it on an instrument, somewhere in there you would change because the human body wants to
That's right.
feel it grow,
That's right.
but
That's right.
they are settled enough to just stick with that program right through to the end. And that's a very difficult thing to do.
It totally is. But for us that didn't have computers back then,
Yeah,
if you didn't show up with the bass, we didn't have bass.
right.
You know what I mean? Back in the day,
Yeah,
if the
that's
guitar
right.
player didn't show up, you didn't have no guitar. Every human being has his own signature, right? So
Yeah,
the computer's on the clock. So you got
yeah,
to maneuver it to make it sound human in those
yeah.
parts. But humans, man, we're not perfect. You know what I mean? And it doesn't need to sound like that. Well, it does. But you know what tripped me out? Is like when my mom took me to see the Motown when I was 10 years old, right? And I
Uh-huh.
look back and those singers didn't have monitors.
Right.
And they was in perfect pitch. You didn't have to auto-tune none of that stuff, right?
That's right. That's right. They were listening. They were listening. They heard it, and then they match what they heard. Yeah, but the kids are doing the same thing now. They're doing the same thing now. They're just doing it a different way.
Yeah.
Well, with technology, right? The other thing I did an experiment, I had 5 bands play the same song, right? And even though
Hmm.
they was playing the same notes that's on the record, it sound different because every human being's got his own sound.
Yeah, yeah. They got their own expression.
I'm gonna prove it to you. If somebody heard, you don't have to be in the room anymore. If
That's
they
right.
play Brick House right now, they go, I know that sound and I know who did that sound. And they ain't looking at you neither.
No, they're not looking at me. No, at all. Yeah, buddy. It is like a copy machine. You
Yeah.
know, you put a letter in a copier and it recreates what it sees, and they do what they see. They recreate what
Yeah.
they see. Yeah, yeah, and it's amazing, man.
We need to reintroduce the human sound to these kids
Mm.
and let them see what we felt.
The thing about that kind of education, when you try to give it to them and show them
Yeah.
that, they won't learn it. But when they have to work on it and try to find it themselves, and they do it, an education that you give a person doesn't take, one that he has to work for, he learns a lot from that. Yeah, he'll learn a lot.
You and I and Tom, man, we've been in the room with human beings. That's a different sound, right? And
Yeah.
I want the kids to be able to walk in and go, wow, what is that? But then they can gravitate. I want to be a bass player, or I want to learn how to play that instrument. But you need to
Yeah,
have it in front of you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
yeah. You need to see it done a couple of times.
That's
Yeah,
right.
and I mean, I'm still trying to do music, and I'm trying to do it the way the kids are doing it, and
Wow.
I find that it is very difficult to make that computer feel like what I feel when I feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
It's
got to
it's
manipulate that computer.
Yeah, you got to manipulate it. But shucks, those kids, I mean, they are in it. Some kids never saw an album.
Yeah.
They never saw a plastic record. My daughter asked me how in the world she saw a gold album. And she said, Dad, how in the world did you get this big CD?
Skyler did that to me, man. I played a 45 for him, right?
Uh-huh.
And I say, Skyler, this used to be our CD back in the day. So he went over
Yeah.
to the CD player to hit eject. He said, Dad, don't fit.
Wow.
Cold
That
blooded,
is
man.
that is cold blooded. I mean, my daughter said this is a big CD. I mean, I've never seen one this big. And now she's working with Doja Cat. She's working with everybody in the business now, you know. So it
Yeah.
it comes around. It comes around.
What's next for you?
Well, I tell you what I've been doing for the last 3 months. I've been going back to old rock and roll songs,
Oh, wow.
and I'm trying to retrain myself to think like that, you know, and do music like that. Soul music is part of me, but that rock and roll, that is something else. I mean, to play the bass guitar, I went in and we were playing a song, and it was difficult to play with the regular 4 strings. And then this rock and roll guitar player said, "We do drop D." I said, what does that mean? He said, "We change the E string to a D string, and we play everything. We play everything on the bottom string. Just retune it. Take the E and tune it down to D.
Oh, wow.
Tune it down to D, and then you play everything on the E string. And that's different because we play in sequential motions. It goes up the guitar, but when you try to play it on one string, it'll blow your mind. It'll blow your mind. But it sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds really good.
You like that music loud and proud.
Well, I'm not so loud. I don't like loud. I like to still hear the parts, you know.
Yeah.
I like to hear the parts. But rock and roll, they wanna. I said, no, man. Let's make it nice.
Yeah, growling stuff, you know.
Yeah, let's make it sound nice.
I love it.
Yeah. But that's just something to keep me interested, you know, keep me going. Yep.
That's good stuff. We had you on before, Ronald, and I can see you're sitting in what is essentially your studio there. You're still making music then? Is that still something you're very much actively doing?
I do it every day.
How about that?
Every day, every night. I sit down in here, I play my guitar, and then I use the computer, and then I bring other musicians in, and we just sit down and just make music, man. That's great.
In the middle of the night, do you ever hear a song in your head? And the beautiful part is you can get up and go downstairs or whatever and record it.
I do it all the time.
It's more or less the middle of the night now, isn't it, for you, Ronald? What time is it in there now? 6:30 in the morning or something?
6:30 in the morning, yeah. And I've been in the studio since 4:00.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I was here since 4:00. Playing the piano, playing the bass, doing a lot of stuff. You know?
That's cool.
I don't know. I think this is my electricity. This is what keeps my heart pumping.
How about
doing music? You know, that's the one. That is the one. I can't do without it.
You mentioned, Ronald, you collaborate with other artists. Are they other artists local to you in New Zealand, or are you able to bring people in electronically as such, like Skyler has done? Do you kind of collaborate with people over Zoom and different things in different parts of the world?
We have this music program where I can play in my studio and they can receive it on their computer.
Oh wow!
And then they put it together. And they call it EJam. And one person's in California, one person's in Florida, I'm in New Zealand, and there's no sound delay, there's no time delay. And you can put it all together. James Carmichael is in LA, Thomas McClary is in Florida, I'm in New Zealand, and we put tracks together like that.
That's cool. Really great.
That's the cool thing. I've written about 25 songs like that, man. Oh yeah, man.
But I got some musicians here in New Zealand.
Yeah.
They're awesome. They are really awesome. And the guitar players and singers and keyboard players and drummers. I mean, it is amazing. The music is just as viable in New Zealand as it is in America. But I think the musicians in New Zealand, they're a little bit more relaxed, you know. They're a little bit more relaxed. They're not out hustling, and their famous saying is, "She'll be right, mate." You know, she'll be right. I said, no, she's not going to be right.
I bet you they play a lot of reggae over there, right?
They play a lot of reggae. They love Bob Marley here. They love him here. Yeah. But the music is getting to be pretty good here now. Pretty good now. You know, they're exposed, and most of their music it's global. For global change. Most of it is for people. Most of it is there.
Link us up, man, with some of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, I'll do that. Oh man, I was sitting in this fellow's house, and he walked in, and he started singing, and then next to me was his cousin who was just sitting there, and he started singing, and then the auntie was standing across the table cooking, and she started singing, and buddy, they blew my mind. I mean,
Yeah.
they just blew my mind. And then I found out that the cousin who was sitting with me was singing with the classical group O Solomo. You know, I say, whoa.
Oh,
I
okay,
said,
okay.
yeah. And one fellow was singing funky music, one was doing gospel, the auntie was doing something else, the boy was doing reggae, and he was in O Solo Mio with classical, like Pavarotti. I say, good God Almighty, look at this. Music
Bringing
is
it
alive.
all together like that, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
gumbo.
yeah, it's gumbo. There you go.
It's the gumbo,
Yeah, and then I threw in a little okra.
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
Thank you so much for coming on the show, my brother.
Thank you, Ronald.
Hey, man, my pleasure. My pleasure.
Awesome.
You know, it's
Awesome.
always nice to see you.
Music can save the world. Music can save the world. If we all get together, music can save the world. Yeah. Music can save the world. Music can save the world. If we all come together, music can save the world. There's an urgency facing our humanity.
Thank you so much for watching. To stay up to date, please click subscribe and hit the bell. You can also join our group on Facebook and find us on LinkedIn and Instagram.